Hey guys, welcome back. So here we are. Got home Thursday night. Went and had our monthly church meeting, and then that was it. Woke up Friday and decided, you know what, I'm gonna take this day for me, and did really nothing all day Friday, which kind of felt good. Haven't got to do that in a long time. Saturday, if you recall, a couple videos ago, we made this. And then we took Saturday and went down to the local range, just because they have the target machine that goes back and forth. You can make sure you're getting the exact yards that you want. And we zeroed that. We went to 50 yards on it because it's a 45 ACP, and I figure anything over 50, like, yeah, sure, it will do it, but you're starting to kind of push the limits a little bit. I mean, yeah, there's things you can do to get a little further, or different types of ammo or whatever, but that's not what this particular item is designed for. I wanted it to be a 50 yard and shorter. Didn't get any video of it, but we also zeroed my AR-15. It's got a 7-inch barrel. You guys have seen it in a couple videos. Put a new sight on it. Got a 2x prism, ACOG style, and we took it out to 100. Both of them were shooting great groups. Here's a little quick video of the zeroing of the 45. And now, today's Sunday. Oh, wait, Saturday. So Saturday, as soon as we got done at the range, because we sat there for 2.5 hours before they even got us in to begin zeroing. Apparently everybody wanted the long distance range that day. And by the time we got done, got outside, it was raining, so we just kind of had an afternoon with the kids and hung out and had a good time and did whatever. And here we are Sunday morning. It's a beautiful 51 degrees and we're finally doing that. That's been something I've been meaning to get done, and for whatever reason have continuously not been able to for quite some time. But it kind of came down to crunch time, because I have to take this to Olympia, Washington. Now, the reason for that, you'll have to wait and see. Well, I don't know if I'm going to make it a part of this video. It probably will be, so you just have to wait a few minutes and find out why. Anyway, that's pretty much that. I'm going to get into this, and I've already noticed several differences between this and your typical radiator job, and I'll point those out along the way as we go. But for now, let's start tearing it apart. Okay, your first step will be to open the petcock, which is a little plastic valve. It's down here in the corner. I don't know if I'll be able to get the camera down here, but right through this access circle, right about here, there's a little plastic valve, which I will show you. Is that little white valve right there. You just twist that, it goes about a half turn, maybe a little more, pops open, all your coolant starts leaking out, which, as we can see here, mine was mostly water. So going into winter, I guess it's probably good that I'm doing this. That was the one fluid I didn't change on the truck when I first bought it, so we're getting that taken care of. Anyway, I'm gonna sit here, wait for that to finish draining. Should take it a couple minutes, and then we'll start disassembly, which is these two bolts. There's one on each side, and that separates the fan from the radiator, which again, this is where it's different, and I'll show you that when I get the old radiator out. And then you've got a couple mounting bolts right here. And as you can see on the other one, that's basically it. So you've got your two mounting bolts that I pointed out right here. And then you got this bolt and this bolt for the cooling fan that goes down into its clips. And then you got a couple of hose clamps, and that's it. So realistically, probably another 10 minutes, maybe a little more, and I'll have this radiator ready to pull. I'm gonna get the tools laid out while that keeps draining, and I'll catch you guys in a minute. Okay, it was not those 4 bolts. So there's 2 bolts that hold the AC condenser on. That slides off. There's 4 bolts that hold the transmission cooler, and then it comes up and back. And then if you remove the radiator support, you have just enough room that you don't have to disconnect this, which I'm very happy for, because that is a hydraulic fan. It runs off of the power steering pump, and I'd really rather not deal with that. So spending an extra 20 or so minutes on doing all this additional stuff saved me from having to mess with the power steering lines, which makes me happy. So, oh, and we also had to remove the airbox, which is one of the radiator support bolts has a small stud for a 10 mil, and then it's got these 2 right there and right there press fittings. It just pops in, easy enough. These are both 10 mil. Okay, so as I was saying, these are both 10 millimeter, and then our good friend Chris called. You all know Chris. You've seen him in countless videos on the other channel. Anyway, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so he called, interrupted the video. We had a good conversation, and now we're back at it. There's 4 bolts for this. They are 13 millimeter. So these are the 2, oh, here. These are the 210s for the AC condenser. These are the 4 for the trans cooler. These are the 4 for the radiator core support. These are the 210s that hold the radiator into the truck. These are the 213s that hold the hydraulic fan to the radiator. And then this is the one nut that goes right here that holds the airbox in place. And that's what you have to do as far as disassembly. After that, it's just kind of a wiggle, wiggle, pry, pry, wiggle, wiggle, and then the radiator comes out. Now, all of this was done because there's a little tiny crack right there. It goes from right there to right there. But that was enough to make it puke its coolant everywhere. And that's not okay. So I could have just done like plastic weld and seamed it back up, but then, you know, if the plastic's starting to crack, where's the next one gonna go, and da-da-da-da-da. Just got a new radiator. We're about to drop it in, and I'll see you guys at some point during the reassembly. Okay, radiator is in place. It's got these 2 little arms, one on each side, and they drop down into these blocks that have giant holes. I'll show you that in a minute. Then we got 1 bolt here for the hydraulic fan, and as you can see, maybe way down there, there's a little clip that it slides into. And then same thing on this side. You've got 1 bolt right here and then a clip down there. Now the clips I'm talking about, this is the old radiator, obviously. You got your 1 bolt and your 2 bolts, and then it just slides into this groove right there. Basically what that winds up looking like is a lot like this right here, where it just slides down into the groove. Trans cooler's bolted back up. Next step will be to get all these hoses rerouted and into their proper clips. reinstall the core support, put on the AC condenser, and we're basically done at that point. Then it's airbox and fill with fluid. I'll catch you guys shortly. Okay, got the trans line just pushed back into the side of the radiator, which we'll walk back over here again. You can see these two little clips. Oh, not really. There you go. 1, 2. Those hold the trans cooler lines. So got those in. Got the trans cooler completely mounted, all bolted in. Just put this in kind of loosely for now, but I did get it bolted with these little bolts, the 10 mils that I showed you earlier. So it's attached to the core support. It's ready to go. AC condenser, got these bolts put back in. They just have to go back into the core support. Got all of the hoses rerouted. This one, and then the AC line down here. Oh, I did not get the second clip yet. I got sidetracked. So we'll get this second clip put back in. Then we got this set on the frame rail down here. We'll reattach this to the core support, put in the core support bolts, reattach the airbox, and then there's a secondary, I'm not sure if it's actually a trans cooler or if it's something else, but there's another little tiny, well, here, let's just move this out of the way, and little tiny radiator down there. I'm not sure what it does, but it needs to be bolted back up. So I'll get all that done. I will reattach the radiator hoses, and I'll see you guys in just a few minutes after we walk down to the parts store and get the stuff we need for this. And just like that, it's all back together. Only thing left is put this on, but I need to fill it first. Needs coolant. Also, I was noticing a good deal of oil leaking out. Ordered a new one of these because I was pretty sure there was supposed to be an O-ring, and turns out the new one came with an O-ring. So that's what that leak was. That makes me feel a lot better. Took me about an hour and a half, hour 40 to do this, so not terrible. After I get this done, I've got some yard work to do, and tomorrow the goal is to rent a U-Haul truck and get this crap out of my garage and out of my yard that I keep saying I'm gonna do every time I get home, and I just wind up not having time. Well, I have the time this time. So hopefully tomorrow I can get a U-Haul truck, just load it up with everything, take it to the dump, drop it, done. And then Tuesday, this girl's got a big road trip. So let's get this down off the jack. So what do you need to do this job? Well, if yours is lowered like mine, you need a jack. If it's not lowered, you don't need a jack. The only reason for the jack was to get a drain pan under there to catch the coolant when I opened that petcock valve at the bottom. So if you don't have the lowering kit on yours, you don't need a jack. If you do, you do. On top of that, you need a 13 mil, a 10 mil. The 13 mil has to be deep so you can get through this post right here. And then 13 and 10, 13 and 10, 10, 13, 13, 13, 13, 10, 10 and 13. That's it. Oh, and a screwdriver or whatever to take this on and off. That's all you need. So a 10, a 13, probably an extension. Yeah, definitely. I did, for one bolt, I had to have an extension. And that was it. Really easy job. I'm not going to end the video here, but I'm done recording for the day here. So we'll pick this back up probably Tuesday. Today's Sunday, so we'll pick this back up on Tuesday with you guys. So I'm gonna get all my mess cleaned up, get this filled with coolant, and get her ready for her road trip. And I'll see you guys later. Okay, so you guys saw on Sunday we got the radiator replaced in the Viper truck here. Monday, finally got that dump run, got the garage cleaned out, got all the trash out of the backyard. It's looking good. It's amazing what can happen when you actually take some time off. Yesterday, well, yesterday is Monday. Got all that taken care of and went through the Viper truck, got it completely front to back, ready to go on another road trip, make sure it's all safe and good. And then today, got up, washed the Streetwalker, got her all packed, ready to go, got dispatched on 2 loads, one of them for pickup on Thursday. And the reason we pushed pickup all the way to Thursday is, there you go. So when I put the cam in, the tune I got from DynoJet had it running extremely lean. And I know a little bit about tuning, so I was able to get in there and play with it. And I got it down to a safe level if you're not romping on it. So I tried to avoid that the couple times I rode it, but really the bike's pretty much sat since the last video on this channel. So you have an appointment with a guy called Dyno Steve up in Olympia, Washington. It's hard to find people who will tune Power Vision and have a reputation for being good. So found one, here we are, and we're on our way. Truck's all packed up, got all my stuff in it, ready to go. Tonight we're staying at Loki's house. Tomorrow we go to Olympia, we get this fixed, and then we go back to Loki's house. Thursday we come home, unload this, and immediately get on the road, which you guys will see this. By the time you see this, I'll be on the road already. Anyway, I gotta get going, so I'll catch you guys in Washington. Okay, so yesterday went horribly, and we'll cover that a little bit more tonight, but we did make it here to Olympia at Dyno Steve. Heard a lot of great things about this guy. Saw a lot of good things about him on Facebook. So giving it a shot. It was worth the 8-hour trip to get up here, and we'll deal with the problem that happened yesterday tonight. Hopefully, fingers crossed. All right, I'll catch up with you guys once we start the fun. What you just saw was the tune was so bad he didn't even want to do a baseline pull on it, which is kind of what I figured was going to happen when we got here. I threw a bunch of fuel at it to make it rideable to get from Pasco here to Olympia, but it was really bad. I babied it all the way here. So he's going to do a few more little half pulls like that, try and get things dialed in some, and then we'll start making some power here soon. Okay, so we're making some progress now. He's got the tune cleaned up. We're a little over an hour into this, and now we're going to start the process of beginning to tune for actual power. So fingers crossed for big numbers, and here we go. Okay, made it back here to Loki's house, and we decided that the truck won't make it back to Idaho. The issue is this line right here, as you can see, is broken. That's a hard fixed high pressure hydraulic line. It's for the power steering. Now, that wouldn't be a problem, but as you saw earlier in this video, the power steering runs the fan to cool the engine. So without a fan to cool the engine, it'll keep kind of cool when it first went, I still made it like another 100 miles. But we discussed it last night, and the issue is that when it runs out of fluid, at what point does that pump just seize? Now, if that pump seizes, it's going to shred the belt. Then I'm stuck on the side of the road or wherever. And now I'm really SOL at that point. So we decided that rather than risk that, I mean, it could be fine. It could make it all the way. But rather than risk that, when I know I have a safe place for it to be, I have a whole chapter of members here, and my chapter has already got everything put together to come pick it up for me. Because I have to work tonight. I was supposed to leave this morning. I was supposed to, right now, just about be home so that I could take off. Now, I'm still 4 hours from home. And on top of that, I have to buy a helmet because Washington and Oregon require helmets. I didn't bring my helmet because it was in the back of the truck. So I'm just killing time waiting for the store to open. The first place to open that'll sell helmets is about 12 miles away, and they open in 40 minutes. So I'm doing this video for you guys right now, and then I'm getting all of my stuff out of the truck, and I'm gonna go get a helmet and get home. But I won't have time to do any video when I get home because, like I said, I'm already way late. So I will tell you, I did about 275 miles on the bike yesterday with the new tune, and it is amazing. Now, I mean, it's not like super bike fast, but it's stupid fast. I've had Ninjas, I've had R6, I've had CBR, I've had Aprilia, I've had KTM. I get it. This isn't that fast, but it is dumb fast for a 1,000-pound bagger. So, super happy. Check out my Instagram. I tagged the dyno guy in there in a couple photos. Dude does amazing work. Was good enough that I was willing to go almost 9 hours from my house to his shop to get it done. Like, it's that good. And the guy's really chill, really cool. Doesn't mind you sitting there hanging out, watching the whole process. Anyway, Dyno Steve is the guy. He's on Facebook. On Instagram, he's the Dyno Steve. And dude does amazing work. That's all I have. I'm going to go ahead and get the bike packed so that I can just go well, no, I'm not going to pack the bike yet. Anyway, I'm going to go get a helmet, and then I'm going to pack the bike, and then I'm going to go home, and I'm going to go to work. And I will see you guys on the next video. Take care, be safe, and have a great time.